In the quiet hum of a weekend morning, where the sun gently kisses the garden floor, a playful creature stretches across a wooden bench. Not a real one, but one born from forgotten bottles in the gentle hands of a dreamer. This is the Caterpillar Bottle Garden Planter, a DIY hydroponic masterpiece that turns trash into treasure, segment by segment. Each section of the Caterpillar is a reused plastic bottle, painted in soft earthy greens or vibrant jungle tones. Aligned horizontally, they form the body of this garden creature, their tops open and filled with a lightweight growing medium, sprouting herbs like mint basil or baby lettuce. A rope antenna curls at its head. Googly eyes glimmer with curiosity, and its smile, painted or imagined, adds warmth to any corner of your home. Creating this caterpillar isn't just a craft, it's an act of mindfulness. Children can paint the segments, learning colors and care. Adults can feel the simple joy of giving waste a second life, of watching something edible grow from something once disposable. Place it on a patio, a sunny kitchen window, or as a centerpiece for a classroom project. The best part? It's mobile, playful, and endlessly charming. This little garden doesn't just nourish the earth, it nurtures the spirit. So next time you hold an empty bottle in your hand, ask yourself, can this become a part of something alive? The answer, as this garden shows, is always yes. There's a gentle buzz in the garden, not from insects, but from ideas brought to life. Hanging lightly among the leaves, a swarm of tiny bumblebees hovers in cheerful harmony. These aren't ordinary decorations. They're little gardens, each one crafted with care, born from waste and painted with purpose. Welcome to the Buzzing Bee Hydroponic Bottle Garden, where plastic bottles transform into flying planters filled with herbs, laughter, and lessons for young and old alike. Each bee begins as a single-use bottle with yellow and black stripes, carefully hand-painted smiles, and upcycled wings made from translucent lids or packaging scraps. They flutter with personality. A small opening at the back cradles a bunch of mint, oregano, or green onions, swaying like soft fur in the breeze. Hang them from a tree, a balcony beam, or a classroom ceiling. As they spin gently in the wind, they become more than just garden art. They become storytellers. They speak of recycling. They whisper lessons about pollinators. They hum tunes of nature, creativity, and renewal. This project is ideal for kids' workshops, eco-fairs, or even as a simple family weekend activity. The materials are accessible, and the results are pure joy. And when the sunlight touches the clear wings and makes the leaves glow, you'll see it's not just a bee. It's a reminder that beauty, like nature, begins again when we choose to reuse. So go on, let your garden buzz with life. Let your hand shape hope. Tucked away in a corner of a sunny windowsill or nestled along a quiet balcony, a row of tiny houses stands peacefully, not made of brick or stone, but of old plastic bottles, reborn as homes for herbs and dreams. Welcome to the Tiny Bottle Cottages Garden DIY, a charming project that brings together storytelling, sustainability, and a touch of fairy tale magic. Each cottage starts as a simple plastic bottle. With a bit of cutting, paint, and love, it's transformed into a miniature home, complete with tiny hand-drawn windows, painted doors, sloped rooftops, and sometimes even little curtains or chimneys. The tops are open to cradle soft soil or a hydroponic sponge, where green onions grow proudly like trees rising from tiny yards. Children adore them. Adults find calm in painting the fine details. Together, they build a village, one that needs no land, only light, water, and care. perfect for windowsills, kitchen counters, or narrow garden shelves. These planters are not only decorative but deeply functional. You'll harvest fresh greens for your meals, and perhaps a story or two for your heart. They invite imagination. Maybe one house belongs to a gardener fairy, another to a sleepy hedgehog who grows thyme on his roof. It's up to you. More than a garden, this is a celebration of second chances, where what was thrown away becomes a house for growth. And every time you water these tiny homes, you're nurturing more than plants. You're nurturing hope, beauty, and the belief that even the smallest effort can bloom into something lasting. Let your village grow. One bottle, one story, one sprout at a time. In a cozy backyard corner where leaves rustle and tiny feet run free, a group of frogs seems to gather, not for a jump, but for a joyful little garden meeting. Welcome to the Froggy Bottle Garden, a whimsical creation that turns discarded plastic into smiling, green guardians of your herbs. Each frog begins as a humble bottle, with strokes of bright green paint, googly or hand-drawn yellow eyes, and cheerful mouths. These creatures come to life. Their round bellies cradle the roots of herbs like basil, parsley, or even baby spinach. From their tops, green leaves sprout like tufts of playful hair, giving each frog a unique, living hairstyle. They're arranged close together, creating the illusion of a bustling pond full of personalities. Some look sleepy, others wide-eyed and goofy, but all of them, everyone, remind you that learning and laughter can grow right alongside fresh greens. This project is perfect for kids. The painting is joyful, the planting is simple, and the results are instant delight. It teaches the cycle of life and care, of reusing and nurturing, all wrapped in a storybook scene you create together. Use them as learning tools in classrooms, as colorful companions on your patio, or as the start of a themed balcony garden. They fit in small spaces, but make a big impression. Because when gardening meets imagination, something magical happens. Even a frog can grow in his head and smile while doing it. Sow, paint, plant, and let your garden ribbit with laughter and greenery. The frogs are waiting, and they're bringing the joy of nature with them. In the quiet stillness of a sun-drenched afternoon, a flock of birds rests gracefully in your garden. But these are not fleeting visitors. They're part of the landscape, planted in place, blooming with life. These are the recycled bird bottle herb planters, a collection of upcycled creations that blur the line between sculpture and sustainability. Each bird begins as a plastic bottle, gently reshaped with careful cuts and vivid strokes of color. The beak is added, the wings unfold, and eyes, kind or curious, bring character to each form. They perch on elegant stands or in upcycled cages, not in flight, but in still, watchful beauty. From their backs, herbs rise, dill, thyme, maybe even wildflowers. Their roots sink into growing medium inside the belly of each bird, drinking water silently from the hydroponic chamber below. The result? An aviary of life and color. Not just a garden, but a scene, one that whispers creativity and respect for the planet. Place them along a pathway, on a sunny window ledge, or under a tree canopy where golden light can kiss their wings. They make conversation pieces, yes, but more than that, they're reminders that beauty doesn't have to be bought, that art can grow, that even the discarded can soar again. It's a perfect project for those with an artist's eye and a gardener's heart. And every time you water their roots, you're nurturing both nature and imagination. Let your garden sing, not just with chirps, but with colors and quiet renewal. The birds have landed, and they've brought life in their feathers. Sometimes the most beautiful things start small, a single sprout pushing gently through moist soil, reaching for the sun. And sometimes the most powerful lessons begin with the simplest materials. This is a clear bottle cap garden starter, a minimal, transparent system for beginning your hydroponic or soil-based garden journey, all from reused bottles and a little intention. Each seedling chamber begins with a used plastic bottle, cut and inverted to form a clear dome. Inside, a small amount of growing medium supports the roots, while light filters easily through transparent walls, offering a full view of life as it begins. Colorful caps, once overlooked, now serve as breathable lids or decorative accents. The setup is tidy, lightweight, and easy to monitor. You'll see every root stretch, every leaf unfurl, a perfect live classroom on your shelf. Line them along a windowsill, a wooden bench, or a garden wall. Their clarity is not just visual, it's symbolic. Here, growth is transparent, honest, unhidden. Every child, every guest, every gardener can see the process unfold. This project is perfect for those who want to start small, with herbs, microgreens, or edible flowers. It's ideal for city dwellers, students, and educators, and it requires almost nothing new, just what you already use, transformed with care. In these tiny greenhouses, the message is clear. Growth doesn't demand grandness, only patience, love, and light. So let your garden begin with visibility. Let your lessons be planted where all can see, because every forest was once a seed, and every harvest a single sprout's dream. Somewhere between playfulness and purpose, a group of pandas gathers, not in a bamboo forest, but in your garden, made entirely of things once discarded. Welcome to the Panda Bottle Garden Planners, an irresistibly cute hydroponic setup that brings together charm, sustainability, and the gentle joy of growing your own food. Each panda begins as a plastic bottle, painted white, with rounded black ears and endearing black patches around the eyes. Their friendly faces peek out from between the leaves of romaine, spinach, or even microgreens, which grow lushly from their open tops. Arranged on a bamboo frame or wooden rack, they resemble a tiny panda parade. Each bottle a character, each plant a hat of green. This project is perfect for families, especially with children who connect deeply with animal-themed visuals. It becomes more than gardening. It becomes a story, one where pandas grow vegetables instead of eating them, and where caring for a plant is as simple and joyful as feeding a friend. The hydroponic system inside is straightforward, ideal for small balconies, school projects, or indoor kitchens. Water flows or is absorbed from a bottom reservoir, and the plants thrive quietly under sunlight. But more than the technique, it's the feeling they bring, the smile as you water their leafy heads, the laughter when a child gives one a name, the warmth of seeing waste become something that sparks connection. These pandas don't roam. They root, they grow, and they teach us that even the cutest things can carry deep meaning when made with love and care. Let your garden smile back at you, panda by panda, leaf by leaf. In the folds of green leaves and the hush of the wind, something magical stirs, tiny guardians with painted wings and bright eyes tending quietly to your herbs. This is a fairy garden from bottles, a realm where plastic waste becomes folklore, where every bottle is transformed into a whimsical keeper of nature. Each fairy is crafted from a simple plastic bottle. The base forms the body, dressed in painted skirts of lavender, sky blue, or pastel green. Delicate wings, cut from transparent wrappers or repurposed folders, flutter behind. Smiling faces are lovingly hand-drawn, and flowers crown their lids like enchanted tiaras. Nestled into soil or suspended in a hydroponic chamber, they hold sprigs of parsley, baby kale, or thyme. As the plants grow, they rise like flowing hair or fluttering cloaks, blurring the line between the plant and the fairy who cares for it. This is more than a garden. It's a miniature world, alive with color and imagination. Children find wonder here. They name each fairy, create stories, sing to them as they water their roots. Adults rediscover a sense of stillness, a connection to the slow, nurturing rhythm of tending something small and beautiful. Perfect for balconies, window boxes, or shared community plots. This project invites creativity and conversation. It reminds us that even waste can bloom into wonder, that nature and fantasy aren't separate, but kindred. With every painted wing and growing leaf, we return to what makes us human. The desire to create, to care, to believe in small magic. So let your garden whisper, let your fairies grow, and let every bottle tell a story only your hands can shape. On the edge of a garden fence, where vines twist and morning sun begins to rise, a parade of dragons stands ready, not to breathe fire, but to grow basil. This is the colorful dragon bottle garden, a fantastical fusion of eco-creativity and vibrant storytelling, where recycled plastic becomes a lively army of guardians for your herbs and greens. Each dragon is made from a plastic bottle, painted in radiant colors: fiery orange, sea blue, jade green, cotton candy pink. Their heads bear sculpted snouts, their sides sprout painted wings, and googly or painted eyes give the spirit all their own. The bottle's top is carved open to hold growing medium where mint chives or lettuce begin their quiet ascent. They don't roar, they don't fly, but they stand boldly on balcony rails, garden fences, or classroom ledges, watchful, proud, and always growing something green. This project is perfect for kids and anyone who believes a garden should be more than practical. It should be playful. Painting each dragon becomes an adventure. Planting in them, an act of belief that even warriors can nurture life. The transparency of the bottles lets children observe root growth, making these dragons not just decorative, but deeply educational. They bring joy to spaces too small for traditional gardening. They bring whimsy to rows of ordinary herbs. And most of all, they remind us that creativity and care are not separate forces, but two wings of the same dragon. Let your garden breathe color. Let it dance with fantasy. And let these dragons guard your greens not with fire, but with fun, flavor, and the power of reimagination. In a quiet corner of the garden, something delightful turns gently in the breeze. A tiny Ferris wheel, not filled with people, but with plants, gently rising and falling as if in a carnival of growth. This is the Ferris wheel bottle garden, a kinetic display of imagination and sustainability, where plastic bottles become rotating gardens and joy meets engineering. Each seat of the wheel is a half plastic bottle, shaped and secured to cradle herbs or leafy greens. Spinach, mint, or lettuce peek from their transparent homes, their roots gently hydrated in a basic hydroponic setup. The wheel, crafted from wood or recycled wire, spins slowly, either manually or with a small motor, allowing every plant equal access to sunlight throughout the day. But beyond function, there is art. The Ferris will stand like a sculpture, playful, unexpected, and impossible to ignore. It brings movement to the garden, draws smiles from every visitor, and becomes a centerpiece that tells a story of repurposing, of invention, of beauty in circular motion. Ideal for school projects, eco fairs, or anyone with a DIY spirit. This garden display is more than decor. It's a live lesson in balance, symmetry, and ecological purpose. It asks, what if gardening wasn't still and silent? What if it turned, spun, danced? And in the turning, it shows us light can be shared, space can be maximized, and growth can happen even in motion. So build it, spin it, let your garden ride the wheel of wonder. Before leaves unfurl, before stems stand tall, there's a tender moment, the breaking of a seed, reaching upward. And sometimes all that life needs is a little plastic, a cap, and a corner of your windowsill. Welcome to the bottle cap seedling garden, a modest, elegant method to start your greens from scratch, using only what most would throw away. Each planter begins with a transparent bottle, cut and inverted to nest within itself, forming a self-watering chamber. The bottle cap, once discarded without thought, is reborn, now with a tiny hole for airflow, or painted in bright hues to add joy. Inside the clear chamber, a seed is planted, and then nothing for a while, but slowly in the quiet light, something stirs. Green pushes upward, roots descend into the water below, and just like that, growth begins. Perfect for classrooms, apartments, or even just a sunny kitchen corner, this DIY setup allows you to watch the process closely. Kids can marvel at every root, adults can plan their herbs with ease, and beginners can start without fear. It's simple, it's clean, it's poetic. Each mini chamber becomes a reminder. Great things begin small. That care, visibility, and patience yield wonders. And that waste, when given purpose, becomes something valuable again. So take a moment, plant a seed, watch it grow not only through the plastic, but through you too. Because sometimes the clearest way to connect with life is through something transparent. Sometimes the most ordinary wall can become a chorus of life and laughter, especially when it's lined with smiling faces, each cradling something green and growing. This is a wall of painted bottle characters, a vertical garden like no other, where reused plastic bottles become joyful little planters with big personalities. Each bottle is cut, painted, and mounted upside down on a wooden surface. The faces come to life with wide eyes, rosy cheeks, sleepy lids, or crooked grins. It's a gallery of expression, funny, heartwarming, and endlessly creative. From the neck of each bottle, leafy greens flourish. Lettuce, concombre, even baby mustard plants spring upward, their roots dangling visibly through bottlenecks into a hydroponic channel or felt wick. It's a living artwork, a marriage of functionality and charm. This setup isn't just about gardening, it's about storytelling. Each face can be imagined as a character. Perhaps a sleepy bottle who grows spinach because it helps him nap, or a shy one who blushes when his herbs are trimmed. Perfect for school walls, home fences, or urban balconies. This project proves that limited space need not mean limited joy. And because each planter hangs vertically, it's ideal for maximizing small areas. But the best part? Every visitor, every child, every passerby smiles back. The garden becomes a mirror of human emotion, softened by the hum of nature and the giggle of green life. So paint a face, give it a name. Let your wall tell stories in color, leaf, and laughter. Because sustainability isn't only serious, it can be silly too. High above the garden bed, where sunlight weaves through branches and the breeze sings softly, little faces swing with joy. They smile in red, wink in yellow, and laugh in shades of sky blue, each one blooming with life. These are the happy hanging bottle planters, a floating garden of cheerful characters born from discarded plastic, string, and shared imagination. Each bottle is painted with love. Big eyes, quirky eyebrows, lopsided smiles. A hole is cut on top for herbs to grow, mint, basil, thyme, sprouting like wild hair in a burst of greenery. Strong ropes tie them to a tree, a pergola, or even a balcony rail, letting them sway freely with the wind. The result is a garden that doesn't just sit, it dances. Perfect for families, especially with children. This project becomes more than craft time. It becomes a tradition. Kids name their planter faces, tell stories about their expressions, and take pride in watering their leafy hair. The swinging planters bring joy to small spaces, brighten up dull corners, and become a symbol of connection between people and nature, between play and purpose. And when the wind blows gently through them, you'll see gardening doesn't have to be still or serious. It can move, it can sing, it can laugh. Hang your bottles high, let them smile at the sky, and watch as your garden becomes not just greener, but lighter, freer, and infinitely more fun. Because joy is just as important to grow as any leaf. Down on the garden table, just above the soil and below the breeze, a caterpillar stretches, quietly carrying green life in every segment of its painted body. This is the Caterpillar Bottle Garden Planter, a crawling creation of color and care, handcrafted from reused plastic bottles and growing with purpose. Each segment is a plastic bottle, painted in natural tones of moss green and bark brown, joined together with sturdy twine or wire. The head boasts large googly eyes and a smiling mouth, complete with playful rope antennae that bounce in the breeze. Inside each bottle, a tiny garden thrives. Parsley, pak choy, even baby mustard greens. The alignment allows it to stretch across narrow tables or shelves, turning even the smallest patio into a patch of edible delight. It's a design children fall in love with, and adults admire for its practicality. Schools can use it to teach biology and sustainability. Families can bond while crafting and planning together. And individuals, no matter how small their space, can find joy in nurturing life. Unlike traditional planters, this caterpillar moves not with legs, but with love. It grows with sunlight, water, and the quiet magic of imagination. It shows us that gardening doesn't need perfect rows or clean pots. It only needs creativity, care, and a willingness to see potential in what others discard. Let your garden crawl with color. Let it wriggle with whimsy. And let your caterpillar become the smiling bridge between play and planet. Because when life begins in something once thrown away, it grows not only outward, but inward too. In a quiet corner of the backyard, tucked between terracotta pots and shaded leaves, lies a miniature village, where homes are made of painted plastic and trees grow straight from rooftops. This is the mini fairy house garden, a dreamlike creation built from humble materials and painted with wonder. Each house begins as a used plastic bottle. With careful cuts and dabs of acrylic, it transforms into a tiny cottage. A round door here, a curved window there, maybe even a flower box under the sill. The tops are filled with soil or hydroponic sponge, where green onions or thyme stretch upward like tiny trees above painted shingles. Grouped together on a low wooden crate or pallet, they form a tiny hamlet, inviting butterflies, sparking imagination, and calling forth stories from everyone who passes. This project is more than cute, it's connective. Parents and children can design each house together, giving each one a name, a personality, even a backstory. Teachers can guide students through lessons on recycling, biology, and storytelling, all in one enchanting activity. It brings calm to busy spaces. It brings life to neglected corners. It brings creativity into the hands of those who might never pick up a brush. Until now. And most beautifully, it reminds us that sustainability isn't just about saving the planet. It's about cherishing beauty, even in the smallest places. So build your village, grow its trees, let it whisper stories of fairies, families, and futures that begin not with grand things, but with small, kind choices. Above your head, where the wind plays softly and light filters through leaves, graceful jellyfish drift, not in the sea, but in your garden sky. These are the jellyfish hanging garden planters, an elegant and unexpected tribute to the ocean, crafted from nothing but plastic waste and a spark of creative wonder. Each jellyfish begins with a translucent plastic bottle, cut and shaped to mimic a dome. From its base, thin strips of plastic, taken from old packaging, cling wrap, or bottles, dangle down like tentacles, swaying with every breeze. Above the bell, green herbs like dill or basil sprout skyward, creating a poetic contrast between sea and soil, flow and root. Suspended from tree branches or pergola beams with clear thread or rope, these jellyfish move gently, silently, like dancers suspended in a slow-motion dream. They shimmer when touched by the sun. They whisper tides of renewal, of life reclaimed. This project is perfect for coastal homes, ocean lovers, or anyone wanting to bring fluid grace to their garden. Children are fascinated by their motion. Adults are drawn into their quiet rhythm. And everyone is reminded of the delicate ecosystems we mirror and protect. But more than an art piece, this is a message that even something as hauntingly beautiful as a jellyfish can be born from something we once deemed disposable. That trash, like the ocean, holds currents of possibility. If only we learn to shape them with care. Let your garden float. Let it pulse with creativity. And may your jellyfish planters remind us all to move through this world lightly and beautifully. Along the fence line, where old wood meets new leaf, a flight of butterflies is gathered, not to flutter away, but to root and bloom in place. These are the butterfly bottle garden planters, a tribute to transformation, where discarded plastic finds wings and gardens take flight. Each butterfly begins with a single bottle. With careful cuts, its sides become wings, broad, curved, graceful, painted in radiant shades of orange, teal, yellow, or lilac. Each wing tells a different story. At the heart of the butterfly, nestled in the bottle's center, lies life, a thriving patch of mint lavender or marigold. The plants rise not above, but from within the wings themselves, hung along bamboo fences or gently nailed to wooden planks. These butterflies don't fly, but they do move. In the wind, their wings sway softly. In the sun, their colors glow. And in your garden, they tell a story that every child, guest, or gardener understands without a word. They remind us of the power of becoming. This project is perfect for small walls, school corners, or even festival booths. It connects art with earth, rebirth with responsibility. It speaks to the soul as much as it serves the soil. Because butterflies were never just beautiful. They were once hidden in cocoons, quiet and forgotten, just like the bottles we so often throw away. So, paint your wings, plant your heart, let your fence bloom with life that used to be lost. And remember, transformation isn't just for caterpillars. It's for gardens, for waste, and for all of us who believe in second chances.